What up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. We're on Geekazine Live, and we are doing a Raspberry Pi case install. I got the iUniker 9-layer Raspberry Pi case in my Raspberry Pi project. My Raspberry Pi project is simply with my streaming machine, because we're on right now. We're live on Geekazine Live on twitch.tv/Geekazine, on youtube.com/Geekazine, and of course we record these so you can watch at a later time on your own schedule. And of course it gets put into the rotation over on Geekazine Live, and you can go over there and check that out. So you can come here and watch me, watch you, watch me, watch you. You get the idea. But the whole point is today what we are doing is, and of course twitch.tv/Geekazine. So of course you can go there, and here we are, we're talking, and be part of that. You can go down here and be part of the Streamlabs, and of course post some gifs or gifs, whatever you want to call it. That's fine with me. And of course you can also go to geekazine.com, where you can check out the latest news. Connor just talked about the Epson Moverio BT35E. I just talked about inexpensive foldable LED lights, which is lighting up the studio. In fact, let me show you that right now. I'm going to turn them off, and I'm going to turn them back on. So, these are fabric lights I've affixed to the ceiling. So you can check that out. So go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for notifications for the next video. Get your rocks over at twitch.tv/Geekazine, and we will go from there. So today what we are doing is this little project right here. This is the iUniker 9-layer Raspberry Pi case. There it is right there. So we're going to be installing that. Let me show you the page. You can get that over on Amazon. Of course, that's an affiliate, so you can check that out. If you go geekazine.com/iUniker, UNIKER, geekazine.com/iUniker, you'll go over there from there. But of course, in the show notes, you'll also see the link, the direct link to the Amazon affiliate. So, all right. What do we get with this? Simple as this is, let's go back to this scene right here. We get a case, and this is called the 9-layer case. Why is it called the 9-layer case? Well, because it comes in layers. Look at that. Foldable layer case, screwed in. I'm already messing it up. I was trying not to, but apparently some of these layers are not fully in there. So there we go. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so it's a 9-layer case. As you can see, it folds out, and so it makes it. You gotta be a little bit careful on putting this together, because then it becomes a puzzle. What we have here is we have 3 different heat sinks. We have the screws that I took out of the case. These are the screws for the fan, which is right here, and then of course footrests, foot stops, which will go on the bottom here. So let's get this going. Let's get this installed and go from there. Let me show you my Raspberry Pi. What I have is the latest Raspberry Pi, which is the 3B Plus, and it's a pretty powerful thing. We've got to worry a little bit about the memory, which is I got the heatsink, and of course the case fan will keep this nice and cool. This also has the ability to do power over Ethernet, which I might just employ now that I have a power over Ethernet switch to use. So if you've never put together a Raspberry Pi before, they're fairly straightforward. But basically you get 4 USB ports, you get an Ethernet jack, you get audio, you get an HDMI port, and then of course a bunch of options to put on more, like a screen or touchpad or other things. So and then of course your operating system goes into the card slot, which is the micro SD slot there. So that's the Pi. That's what we're going to put in. I did have it in an older 2 case, but I wanted to put a fan on this, because the idea of this one is I'm going to create, put all my videos on this and have it run, pushing it into the stream machine, so I can actually create schedules and times that that certain videos will play. Hopefully, that's the idea. So let's get this going. Now, this is pretty frustrating because, like it feels like a deck of cards, and it just keeps separating. So, what you should do is you should take the bottom. This is the bottom part, or actually the top part. The screws are on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top piece off, and I'm going to try and keep this as close together as possible. And to do that, you'll take the screws, and the issue is you got to line up all 9 layers, or well, in this case 8 layers. The 9th layer is that top piece that I took off. So there we go. So we'll set that down. Now that's a little bit more stable. Now we can peel back the layers. Actually, I'm going to put a third screw in. Yeah, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. So here we go. We have the Pi. We've got to figure out how the Pi goes in. So the Pi will come in like that. So what we want to do is now we want to figure out by peeling back certain layers. That's the first layer. We'll peel back the next layer. And as you can see, these layers aren't, they're flexible and they can break really quick. So this looks like these are all 3D printed pieces. And the cool thing about this is it also gives you it gives you space to put stuff underneath, because I think this is where the Pi will go in. So we'll put the Pi in here. Underneath, you have the heatsink, and that's where these heat sinks come in. So we'll take this out. We'll take a look at. We'll pull out the heat sinks. We got 3 heat sinks here, and the thermal is already on the bottom here. But of course, if you end up reusing it, you'll have to put that back in. Put new thermal paste on. So let's do this. Looks like we have this one go here. Down here we've got this one, and then the third one will probably go up here, and this is where the processor is. So let's do that really quick. We're gonna flip this around. We'll start with the bottom one, center as possible. There we go. Look at that. And then we'll make sure it fits. There we go. Yeah, it does fit. Just got to do a little bit of moving around. So, all right. So we'll put this back down. Yeah, this will take a lot of patience. Just a little patience. And another thing I could do, I could get a piece of tape. That would be the smart thing to do. Take a piece of tape and rip it off. Bring it down here and kind of tape the screw in like that, so it won't fall out. Because I've already had to try to fall to the floor. So I'll do that, and you don't want to tape it on the layers, because if you want to remove one of the layers, then you can do that. So now it's going to be good. We could actually do all 4 then. Well, 3, because one screw's on the floor. So let's do that. Let's put the third one in. We'll put the screws in. There we go. Now we'll put this in. There we go. Look at that. Now it fits perfect. You put it in the right way, it fits perfect. So, all right. So now we can start putting in more layers and making sure that they're in the correct way. Now you don't have to put in the layers, the extra layers, and it looks like if you need to cut out something, you can easily do that. So that's that layer. Oh, we should probably put the other heat sinks in before we do that. So I'm going to put this on right there. And before I really push it down, I want to make sure that this will clear through this layer. Oops. There we go. Yeah, actually, I'm going to leave that there as I put this last heat sink on. Nice and center. There we go. Look at that. Now we have our heat sinks here. So now we can start putting in more layers. This is the next layer. And like I said, you don't have to put in the layers. You can just figure out a way to keep it an open system. But I'm going to put the layers in. This one. So it looks like you have a place for this pin system to come out from there. That's why this side is open. And then the last layer, right here. There we go. And then the case top. Now there is a fan to the case top, which is right here. I'm not going to affix it, but you get the idea. You put a few screws down, and then there's the pin combination, so you can use that. I will be putting the fan on, don't worry. So now these are the top screws. This is going to be a little bit trickier. There you go. And then what I would do, like I said, I'd take the tape off, and then I'll tighten this down. So that is a 9-layer case. That's pretty nice. The card goes right here. We got a place to put your cable, basically, so it can come up or it can come to the side. And if you need it bigger, you can just kind of clip that and go from there. Over here, you have power, and then we have HDMI, and then we have our audio right here. And that's the case. Looks pretty nice. And once the fan gets set up on top, it'll keep it nice and cool as it is delivering video to you guys, and go from there. So that is pretty sweet. It's a little bit difficult, so you got to really think it through when you put on these layers. And so the tape on the bottom of the screws keeps it there, so if you have to move the case around, you don't lose the screws like I did at the beginning. And then, of course, put on the fan and get the operating system on. I'm going to try a couple different operating systems. We'll see what happens, and then really rock it from there. So, but anyway, that's it. That's everything. That is the iUniker 9-layer Raspberry Pi case install to my Raspberry Pi 9 or 3B Plus. So it's pretty exciting. So we'll see how this will work, and the idea is that this will house all my videos. The videos will then input into the streaming machine, in which the streaming machine will then stream it. And I'm hoping to be able to do a little bit more than what the program that I'm using for streaming can do, and of course lower the process so the computer will last longer, and it won't tax anything. But it's pretty good machine, older machine, 8350 AMD chip in there. Kingston supplied the hard drive, and they've supplied the memory for the machine, so I'd like to thank my friends over at Kingston for that. And definitely check them out when you're going to create your own Raspberry Pi or your own desktop system and go from there. So that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out and watch lots more video over at geekazine.com and youtube.com/geekazine, twitch.tv/geekazine to watch live. So take care, geek out.